Hello, welcome aboard. Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, on this sunny Friday morning in January 2025. What is it today? It's the 30th, isn't it? It's the last day of January tomorrow. Where did that month go? Anyway, squeaky chair. So basically, we have a review for you today for a couple of brand new sets from the wonderful masking company One Man Army, and there you can see down there you've got onemanarmy.be should you want to go and look at the range. But if you're in the UK, all of these sets, all of the sets he makes, are available from Hannants in the UK. So basically I've shown you these before. So we've got some 148, these are all generic sets for 148. So we've got 8-inch serial numbers, so these are the numbers that go along by the tail. You can see there, that sort of thing. And then here we've got 18-inch code letters, so these are the smaller letters that go on the side for the serials, okay? And then here you've got the 30-inch, they're the taller ones. And then here we've got specifically for the Spitfire, we've got a set of roundels with all the different sizes, 40 and 56, 25, 30 and 50, 35, 35, 56, 25, 40. So this is the these are the diameters of the various different parts of the roundel, so specifically for all the different ages of Spitfires. And then here we've got the stencil set for the Spitfire, so we've got 100 masks, 3 spares, enough there for 2 kits. And basically these are generic for a 48 scale Spitfire, so they could be used on Airfix, Tamiya, Hasegawa, Armour Hobby, whatever you want to use them on. Obviously you can use them on there. So they're really good for a couple of reasons. One is if you have got an older kit where the decals are shot, so you've got these, and these are always going to be better than decals anyway, because we always want that painted on look. Well, these are actually painted on, so there we go. The other thing is if you've got the old Tamiya kit, then the Tamiya decals are horrible. They're about ½ an inch thick. You can use these instead. And you've got enough there for a couple of kits. So, and also they're weatherable, and the one big benefit I think with these is you can choose the colour. Now we all know that often manufacturers, they not only get the shades wrong, so you'll have a really bright red for a warning label rather than a crimsony sort of red, but they'll also put grey where it should be red, for example. So you choose the colour, you can weather it, you can shade it, you can fade it, you can do whatever you want. So there we go. So now we have a couple of brand new sets which have just come out this week, I believe. And these have just been sent to me by Sven over in Belgium. Thank you very much, Sven. So we've got a couple of brand new sets here. These are the RAF roundels for the Hurricane Mark 1 and 2 and Hurricane Mark 1 and 2 data stencils. And again, all the same benefits as you've got with the Spitfire. You know, old thick decals, worn out decals, wrong colour decals, inaccurate decals, the wrong shades, whatever, too thick. Then you've got these and you can do your own. And again, you've got enough in here on both of them for 2 kits. So we've got the roundels, we've got 50, 49, 49, 45, 35, 36, 32 and tiny little 18. So we'll have a look at the roundels first. We'll have a look at the roundels, then we'll have a look at the stencils, and then I'll go through some generic sorts of hints and tips on using these things. I've done quite a few videos on them. So basically what we've got in the packet is a cardboard sleeve. And the cardboard sleeve, as you can see, we've got the lovely front cover there, and then turning it over here, we've got all the different styles of roundels that we used on Hurricanes through the years. So you've got all sort of hints and tips on how to use them here, and some golden rules and stuff like that. But you can see those are different style roundels. Okay, so this set is 48 Gen 522. You can see there. Okay, so if you want to get this, I think it's just come in this week at Hannants. It's under the new arrivals. And then here we've got our generic instructions. We'll go through those after we've looked at the stencils. And then here we've got the masks themselves. And I'm not putting the light on because of the glare and everything, but you can see that you've got lots and lots. You've got, what have we got here? We've got 4 of the, these are the B type 49. These are the A type 50, A1 type 49, and then we've got the 45 here. We've got 4 of those, and then here we've got the A1 35. We've got a spare one there, so there's 4 and there's a spare. And then we've got the C1 36 and the C32. C1, there's the tiny little 18 ones there. You can see they're all there. on the sheet, and you've got all these little different inserts as well. You can see these are the little inserts for your 32s, which are down here. Okay, so that little ring there, you know, when you want to mask it, if you take that ring out to paint it, you've got a new ring there to put back in so it won't get distorted. And I would seriously recommend using transfer tape to move those, to keep them round. If you don't, you can sort of inlay them. It's almost like marquetry. You can lay them in there. Alright, so there we go. As I say, I've done various videos on how to do these roundels, different ways of doing them, different processes, and you can watch that, go back and have a look. And if you search my channel for One Man Army, you'll find them all there. And then here, as we said just now, we've got the stencils. So again here, we've got enough for 2 aircraft. So basically, we've got the Hurricane Mark 1 and 2, and we can see we've got the stencils here. Here's the actual decals themselves, the masks themselves, not decals. And you can see that they're all put on a rectangle, and they've all got a lengthy left-hand side to them, and that's so you can lift the corner and put the masking tape under, which I'll cover in a minute. But you can see here we've got all the little the bonding strip signs. Here we've got the coolant, the fuel, the trestle here, and all that. And you can see on the back here, these are what you're going to get. So there we go. Okay, so you can see that's your that's basically your masking sheet there. So patch to inside of line only, trestle here, coolant, is your oxygen cylinder turned on, fuel 34.5 gallons, avgas 100 LL, capacity 35 gallons, shut to open, and then you've got some more bonding strip signs there. So there we are. Now the generic instructions, basically what you've got in here are a set of generic instructions, and I've been through these a million times. Go back and have a look at some other videos, but basically this is about how you use transfer tape. Always put a scrap piece of masking tape under the bottom left hand corner. It makes it much easier to lift it off the model without scratching the paintwork. It also identifies the bottom left hand corner. Sometimes when you're using these masks, you're going to do overlays. Okay, so like for the German fuel sign, the triangle, you'll have 3 decals, which is the basic shape. Then you'll have the outline around the outside, and then you'll have the actual stenciling in the middle. So you'll have 3 decals, and what you do is you lay those one over the other. And if you do this, you've got the bottom left hand corner identified, and then you'll always have that bottom left hand corner identified. So that's one way of doing those. Over the page here you can see what we're talking about. Here you've got a mask. Okay, so the base mask has gone down, and what he's done here is coloured in the corners of the mask, so that when you come to lay the mask on top, this is exactly what I was just talking about. You put this mask down on top, and you can see the corners underneath, rather than having the yellow on yellow. You've got the black under the yellow, so it makes it stand out a lot easier. And then here you can see we've got the blackened edge, and this is where we're laying in the triangle now to do the stenciling. And if you put that blackened edge, it makes it a lot easier to see the yellow up against the black. Obviously you've got to be careful not to get any black on your nice fresh paintwork. So that's that. As I say, left hand, bottom left hand corner, using the using a strip of tape to mark your centres. So if you're doing a walkway, like if you're doing no step along your wing, nice strip of masking tape along there, mark the centre of where each no step's got to be, and then when you put your mask down, you've got a mark to say where they're going to be, and they'll all be in line. They won't be like this. So yeah, and as I said, I've done lots of work on these. Here's the sample I've used, and this is the one I always show. And this will show you the sort of results you can get with these masks rather than using decals. This is all done with masks, and you can see these letters here have been painted on, and this here has been painted on. And the beauty of them is, you can, if you do have an edge around them, or if you want to weather them, or you want to bleach them out, you can sand them, and just, they absolutely take the painting on look, because they're painted on. And you have different ways of doing things, like I've shown you in the various videos I've done. You can see here we've got the serial number put down, and then we've got the S put over the serial number, and then we've got that German fuel sign over the S. So you can see having them over, you haven't got this build up of decal film or anything. And That's how it works out. Lovely. You can see there, literally no carrier film. You can choose the colours and everything. You can do the roundels, so you can spray the blue, mask it, spray the red, and then mask the whole thing and spray your camouflage. Or you can camouflage your modelling and put it all down on top. What I would recommend with the whites, don't use white, use an off-white, and be very careful which paint you're using. For instance, XF1 can have quite a high build, so you'll have quite a hard edge to sand away. So just bear that in mind when you're using the masks. But I show you all that in my videos. Here you can see an American star, the early one with the meatball in the middle. US Navy here, and you can see that I've actually sanded that, and you can sand it and make it look like it's bleached and worn from the salt air and everything. And then here you can see this little man here on his bomb. That is all done with stencils. Okay, that is all paint. There's no decals involved there at all. And again, here you can see the tiny little stencils on this wing. And then here we've got the kiwi, or the kangaroo. That's where the K came from. Okay, and then we've got the ejector seats there, and there's a rescue one there. This is from the F-35 set in 1/32 scale. So there we go. So there's your choices. But and you can see some more on the end of the wing here. These are actually for the 32nd scale Hurricane from Revell. Okay. So yeah, very nice indeed. Much better than decals. Alright, so I will shortly be doing a build of the Airfix Western Lysander, and I'm going to use some of the stencils from this set on that, I believe. I think so. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so I can confirm with the stencils you only get the one sheet. I've counted out. It says 76 masks, and there are 76 there. It's 7 by 11, and there's one missing there. So there are 76 masks on there, so that's good. One other tip I forgot to tell you: when you use these, as I say, put a scrap of masking tape under the bottom left-hand corner. Makes it a lot easier to lift them off. Put a piece of tape where they're going to go, so you get them nice and square when you put them down. And when you do put them down, don't rub them. Put a piece of paper over the top and rub them. You've seen me do that before. If you rub them, you're likely to lift the edges of because you can see these are actually laser cut. And they are actually, you can see my finger behind, they are actually cut through. So there's no little bits and pieces left behind. They are a highly precision cut item, I can tell you. But they are... you can see my hand behind there, they're all cut through. Okay, and as I say, put a piece of paper over the top and rub them down. So you only get the one sheet. With this one, you're only going to get the one sheet as well. I can see here, we've got 4 of every roundel, except for these two. We've got A50 and A149. So I can only assume that if you're using these roundels, they just had one underside on one side and one on the top side on one side. So, because he's stating there's enough there for 2 kits. So, basically, you're never going to need 4 of those for 2 kits. That's all I can assume. Because we've got 4 of everything else. We've actually got extras here as well. So there we go. Wherever you see an X, like on this one here, you can see there's an X down in the bottom left-hand corner. It means it's a spare. So that's a spare you can play with. So, obviously, that's intimate, showing you've got 5. Okay. So there we go. So if you've never used these before, give them a go. This is a good lower cost way of getting in. But remember, you've got enough for 2 kits there. So, it makes sense to get them because they're so much better than decals. You know the colours are going to be right because you're going to choose the colours. You know you're not going to have any problems with them going down because they're not decals. You know you're not going to have any problems with damaging the paint underneath because they're not decals and you're not losing setting solutions. And you're going to have that painted on look because they're painted on. And then, as I say, you can weather them, scratch them, whatever. So and with the stencils, what you can do is put one down and then paint over it so it just shows through the paint, and then put another one down over the top, which is just because you sometimes see that on aircraft where you'll see there was a stencil there, they've painted over it, you can just see it coming through the paint, and they've replaced the stencil and it's just off and you can see the old stencil coming through. So yeah, lots and lots and lots you can play with. So go and get yourself some, have a play. As I say, if I've got the right sizes, I'm going to use some of these on my Lysander. But these are generic and they are meant for a Hurricane. but I'm sure that if you've got an aircraft that uses, you know, a 49-inch roundel of that style, go for it. It doesn't have to go on a Hurricane, does it? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.